Hi, hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video, welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors video. If you are by any chance getting a little bit tired of watching the exact same premise, the exact same type of content, namely the Barbarian on maximum difficulty with the exact same build, I mean, I guess I understand, but then this video is still not going to be for you. I'm a completionist and a perfectionist in life in general most of the time, but definitely when it comes to video games and definitely when it comes to games like this, where completing things just requires time investment and not necessarily like increased skill. I want to completely finish this barbarian fella off before I jump into the next character. Give me some health right from the start, so that way when we inevitably get body slam again, it will be useful. Useful right from the get-go. Last couple of runs have been successful, but then again, not to the fullest extent. As you know, if you watch all these Soulstone Survivors videos, let's go for a little Shadow Orb for now, but we're probably replacing it. As you know, if you watch these Survivor videos, these Soulstone Survivors videos, the last episodes were plagued with kind of like a anticlimactic ending. The runs were okay, we were doing something, we were hitting some enemies, we were dealing some damage, but then in the end something always went wrong and we all of a sudden just lost. And it's sad, but sometimes it happens, you know? Sometimes you hit a little dry streak where you don't necessarily know what's happening or why. Let's go for a little armor. Shrapnel bomb for now, but we will try to replace it. Some area, multicast 4 area. Flurry is of course a nice ability, we know that from every single time we have played this game, because now we can already start applying a whole lot of bleed. I think we want to get rid of our shrapnel bomb if possible. I think we want to get some type of bloodlust scent of blood going. Blade Storm. I'm not really convinced. I'm not really convinced about Blade Storm. I think that we should rely, or am I? Because that seemed to be nice and easy. Impending Doom. And again, remember, don't take multiple of those upgrades. It might look like a good idea, but in reality it is not at all. Area Effective Shrapnel Bomb is not that great. Frailty is actually not amazing either. And neither are any of these. I guess increasing poison damage and fire damage and things like that and darkness damage is actually warranted. That is actually okay, because the poison will stack up rather quickly. So investing in the... well, then isn't then investing in things like this also okay? Because it also increases the damage. Like for example here, it will increase the doom damage, right? Causes 54 damage after 5 seconds. If we pick this now, causes 54 damage, but this is transformed into 108. Interesting. So are the doom stacks separate, you think? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure at all whether they would make it in that sense, but I don't think they would. I'm investing heavily into like making our stacks into our negative effects, into making them deal more damage. I don't know if it's actually the most effective build, but there has to be something to it, right? You know, I'm just gonna keep on going with that trend. I am gonna actually go against what I just said, and I'm gonna pick up every single one of those status effects, also if they are synergetic abilities. Just try and make the stacks that we apply to enemies deal as much damage as possible. Because I think that is still mainly what our build is focused upon. Multicast for lasting. Are we gonna remain with Blade Storm? Because then we can pick this. Thermal Shock is also... well, Thermal Shock is meh. I think we are gonna go with and that means that we are staying with Blade Storm. But I definitely want to make my area a little bit larger so that it covers the entire screen. Don't really need any of these. Critical damage is not really what we need. We don't really need any of these, to be honest. Relentless is way nicer. Some cast speed, you can never go wrong with that. Don't need this area of effect. Even more poison damage, sure. And now, I hope, when we apply Flurry and like a whole bunch of poison sticks to the boss, we will just see him die instantly. It's not necessarily instantly, but we do definitely deal a lot of damage if we focus on all our hits on one boss, so that the poison just stacks up. We can see it again here in the Prophet list, the health bar all the way on the left. Once our Flurry really pops off and the poison is applied, it definitely is a-okay, right? Our damage already? I think so. Oh, it's not even the Profitless. We were fighting the Chaos Bringer, I think. Doom. Yeah, sure. Doom is also nice to invest in. Because we also apply a whole bunch of stacks of Doom all the time. Which is exactly what I try not to do with my clients, you know? Imply a sense of Doom. Apply stacks of Doom. I would much rather have them kind of feel like Doom is not an option and like life is great and awesome. Of course, also not really the case and not really what I strive to do, because that would paint a little bit of an unrealistic picture, you know. I think way more than making people believe that life is awesome and always amazing, it is way more about... We're gonna keep Heavy Strike. It applies just one bleed, so that's really not what we're looking for. So I don't think I am gonna keep Heavy Strike. Yeah, I go for one Thermal Shock, I guess, just to apply more negative effects. It's not always about making people feel amazing and giving people the feeling that the world is awesome, life is awesome, and they shouldn't worry about everything, because sometimes that's exactly what is holding people back, you know, that they are striving towards that feeling. It's exactly what Russ Harris also talks about in his The Happiness Trap. It is that people most of the time kind of they keep on chasing happiness and purely happiness, and they don't realize that chasing their values is way more valuable, hence the name probably, and they keep on chasing happiness in an understandable fashion, because chasing your values is not always laced with happiness, you know. It's not always that going after, for example, connectedness and investing in relationships will make you happy right on the spot. Every relationship also has some conflict sometimes, you know, so you need to sit through some of the worst parts of life, some of the less fun parts of life, to actually achieve the valuable life. And maybe that is way more what my function is about. Instead of having people experience happiness, it's about having people be okay with the absence of happiness at some times. And that's kind of what acceptance and commitment therapy really is all about. In essence, I think that's kind of what Freud and Nietzsche were already talking about. Facing life head on, taking life by the horns. People like Kierkegaard, who tell you to confront your anxiety, your angst for the world. That's exactly what they are saying. You don't really need damage increase, but I guess it might. No, I think I am just gonna go for a random area upgrade. Even though it is of a way worse variety, we really don't need raw damage. It's not gonna help us out. Don't stay in the poison for too long. An extra dash or some movement speed would actually be nice, so let's look out for that a little bit. Multicast I will of course take, because I think that multicast will make it so that we apply a bunch more stacks. And now that we are in rage mode, I want to actually get in here, but I definitely also need to heal. So instead of getting in there, I'm actually going to get out of there as well. Are there any healing crystals around? Does not necessarily immediately look like it, but that's okay. As you all know, we are still looking for these things here, for the materials, to get all of our weapons, all of our new weapons purchased in the blacksmith. And additionally, we are just gathering experience points to make sure that we complete the talent tree for every single character. If we really want to do that on camera, I'm probably gonna have to record at least 100 more episodes, I believe, but I'm up for a challenge right now. The only thing that is coming up then, just thinking about it, is again already like the... No, we don't need any of these. And don't need any of these either. Is already the imposter syndrome is coming up. Like, do I have what it takes to do that? Is my commentary still gonna be interesting? / is my commentary still even interesting right now? And it's a question that you have to let go of. It's kind of exactly what we were talking about, in a sense that to be a successful YouTuber, whatever that might mean, whoever decides what is successful and what is not successful, you have to face the negative parts sometimes also. Some videos that get less views, some videos where you feel a bit more under the weather, where your commentary isn't all that great, you don't have that much insightful things to say, and people don't necessarily leave happy comments or something. You have to face those troubles, you have to face face those aspects of the story as well. If you can't deal with the kind of bad moments, I think you don't necessarily always deserve the beautiful moments. Or well, you still deserve it, but it is a classic saying. You kind of get what I mean, right? I think. Impending Doom. Do we have Impending Doom already? Yes, we do. I think I would then rather just go for Venomous. I don't really want any of these. Goodbye, critical hit upgrade. Sure, let's go for this one. I wonder what the use of the lock skill is. Or is it that you lock something and you can still then buy another upgrade? Let's test it out at the next level up if we think about it. Because then I would definitely see its handiness immediately. Because then if you have two nice options, you could just save one for later. Alright, we are dealing some damage once we like really get our focus down on one single target. And once we get close enough for our Blade Storm to also be applied. So now, if we, for example, want this, and we then take this, even though we don't really want it, I think now the next time the Behemoth will still be there. And then it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It is pretty weird that it appears in the middle of two active skills, though. I think they should probably change that, but... And now, of course, it's gone. Here we are, the next lords are already here. I'm gonna try and stay close to these little fellas from the previous wave to make sure that my screen is not just like completely overflowing with lords. I think we did a nice job in that endeavor. Let's get rid of this tower in the top left here quickly before we get swarmed by all the red circles on our screen. And now we should be a-okay again. Actually did not go out for kebab in the end. We went to eat spaghetti. Also very tasty, but I just know that my girlfriend is not that much into the kebab side of the food pyramid, which is of course one of the essential foods right there at the bottom. You need to eat 50% kebab on your plate every single day to really be healthy. But I know that she is not really about that life, so while we still have our shrapnel bomb, we really should replace it. I was like, if you would rather eat something else, just tell me right now and we will go and look for something else. And then first of all, we had the idea of going to Haley's in Leuven, a beautiful little Asian restaurant where it really is just like the food is bar to none. It's amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous every single time. It's always just amazing food. Jesus Christ, our revive is about to be popped. But in the end, we decided, or she mostly decided, to go for spaghetti. And I don't say that in like a negative way, because I let her make the decision completely. Because, and this is what I exactly told her yesterday as well, like I know that I almost always eat everything without being perturbed or without being sad that I didn't exactly get what I want, because I have like... I want to eat a bunch of things all the time, if that makes any sense at all. And I know that she is a little bit more picky on that front, so I always try to let her decide completely what we are going to eat. And she decided upon spaghetti. And it was nice, it was okay, it was delicious. I will just get some kebab later in the week, definitely though, because I am still craving it. I'm getting beat down by these lords still. And my damage is actually not exactly as high as I would have expected it to be. I thought that this would just deal a whole lot of damage, because every single stack now deals 800 damage, right? And we are applying quite a lot of stacks if we actually get our hits in, but still it seems like it's not enough at all. And we're just getting hit way too often ourselves. Our second revive has been popped multiple times already, almost. Get out of there. We need an extra dash. We have taken many movement speed upgrades already though. There's a little bit too many elites in here. It's difficult. Now that the difficulty is back up there, the runs are just not as easy as they used to be. And I made them easy for myself. Do I regret it? No, not at all. As I talked about in one of the last episodes, I didn't have the incentive yet to actually play at the highest difficulty then, so I am absolutely okay that I didn't do it and I was just having fun. And it just makes it so that now I have to grind a little bit more, and it's definitely something that I am okay with. We're doing a nice job of dodging while we are in the enraged modus, because then we have some more movement speed to work with. Bloodlust is finally here. Goodbye, Shrapnel Bomb. I don't think we need you. I think we are way better off getting Bloodlust in there and having our abilities get off cooldown a bit faster even. We don't have time to really stack up the flurry attacks because there is just too much going on our screen, sadly. And we need to keep dodging most of the time. Especially now that there's one of these paladin guys in there, because we know that the attack that we just saw right there is most of the time like a run ender. Alright. How are we doing? We are not even close to the final wave of lords, and we are already having a lot of trouble clearing out the lords that are in fact here already. So I would say that we are not doing amazing. Uh-oh. I think we might still just like... we might be focusing a little bit too much on all the application of negative effects, and we are missing some of our like high damage standard abilities right now that maybe even utilize the bleed effects, like for example a subdue or something. So maybe our focus needs to shift a little bit more into dealing actual damage instead of just applying sticks for the sake of applying sticks. Frailty though, can't go wrong with that. Just keep on circling. We have all the time in the world if needed. Today I am cooking. And I am actually quite hungry already. But today I am cooking because normally my girlfriend almost always cooks because I'm always at work. Today I had a very easy day at work. Only 2 clients, sadly enough. Sad for the financial side of things, but it's okay to have a bit of a calmer day sometimes, of course. And that means that I am gonna try to cook this evening. Not that it like completely makes up for all the effort and time she has put into cooking lately, but at least it is like an opportunity to kind of repay her a little bit. One more hit and our second revive is popped. Let's try and postpone it as long as possible. Although I don't know if it's actually gonna work. Give me some multicast please, because we are in desperate need of more damage. Because these lords are just not falling at all. Ah, damn. Should have dodged that. Whoa, I looked at my phone for 1 second. I looked back and I saw that half of our HP bar is gone already. It's not the time to look at our phone. Let's see. Taking a whole lot of damage, even after taking so many movement speed upgrades. That hitbox was a little sus. I won't blame that completely on myself. But I think there's just a little bit too many enemies around to focus our damage on one specific target and to be able to dodge what is happening. There we go, Savage Strikes. That's exactly what we needed, right? A nice little damage dealer. Something inside of me tells me that it might be a little bit too late already, but we are just still gonna try and make the best out of it, right? 9 health remaining, no health crystals to be seen. The boss health bars are not diminishing quickly enough to actually be fun and be feasible for me. Try and pick up some XP to heal up if possible. But in general, we are just in a whole lot of trouble, I can tell you that much. As you can see, we are still at 9 HP, so the healing is not necessarily going as planned. We will level up in this rotation probably though. Whoops. Get out of there. Oh, damn, not quick enough. You know, these runs are actually quite shit because we are only increasing by like 2 levels and we don't gather that many materials at all. Thank you very much for watching though. I might play some off camera to complete this guy's skill tree because by now you've seen it. You know how it works, right? Or how it doesn't seem to work at this point. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.